If you didn't see part 1, see part 1 before you see part 2, because this is part 2 and you need to see part 1. You hear this ringtone coming, right? And you see this man walking down the hallways. You know, you see his feet first, and the ring's going. You know, the phone's ringing. He answers the phone. You see a hand go in the pocket. It's brown, comes out. He puts the phone up to his head. It's Dr. Ratha. It's Dr. Ratha. Yes, yes. All right. Answers the phone. I'm not going to talk in the accent. I'm not doing that. Hello? Dr. Ratha, hi. Harry? Yes, Dr. Ratha. Dr. Ratha, I wanted to know what's going on with my father. Where is he? I haven't seen him in over a week. He's out of the hospital. The hospital said he's out. He's been out, Harry. Where's my dad? He hasn't been at home. What's going on? Your dad's been working here at Oscorp, Harry. What do you mean he's been working at Oscorp? He's sick. What's wrong with him? Your father is very hard working. He knows that this is important. He does not want to leave here. He doesn't want to leave you. He doesn't? That's what he said, Harry. That's not what my father said. My father would never say anything like that. That's too nice to be my father. I'm actually going into a meeting with him right now. He called me in. Can I speak to him? I mean, I haven't talked to my own father in a week, and you're just going in talking to him. Has he been sleeping there? Here's your father now. Then, you see, Dr. Ratha's in Norman Osborn's office, right? Norman Osborn's office. And the chair, you see the back of the chair, and it's facing out of this window, and it's raining outside. You don't see him, but you see the back of the chair. And his hand goes out like that. And then Dr. Ratha's like, Mr. Osborn, your son, Harry, he's on the phone. He puts the phone in Norman Osborn's hand, and you still don't see him. It goes back, now you see Harry, you know, you've been seeing Harry and Ratha go back and forth throughout the whole conversation. You see Harry, and Norman doesn't say anything, and Harry's like, hello, Dad, is that you? And Norman says nothing. He's like, Dad, what's going on? Are you alright? Harry, when does school start? You hear a very, grunty voice, when does college start? I think tomorrow. You think tomorrow? Dad, I'm trying to... I have a lot on my plate. What do you have on your plate, Harry? Girls? Drugs? Dad, I don't do drugs. Oh, okay. Well, I want you to focus on that schoolwork. Then you'd actually be something. Son, I am a successful businessman. Do you want to know why I'm successful? Because I'm hard-working. You need to be hard-working to make it in life, son. You're playing around. You're not taking school seriously. When I die, this company is going to be passed down to you. I don't feel confident knowing that you're next in line. Dad, I don't want to be this entrepreneur businessman. Son, what do you want to do? What can you possibly do? With the way that you act, you're not going to do anything. You're a disgrace to the Osborn name. And I expect for you tomorrow to take yourself into Empire State University. And I expect for you to graduate in honors. Son, do not disappoint me like you have previously. Dad, I'm not trying to disappoint you. Dad, you act like you know me. You don't know me. I know you're supposed to be an Osborn, but instead you act like a disrespectful brat. And you're a disgrace to the Osborn name, Harry. Dad, you don't click. Then the phone clicks. And Harry's sitting there. He's sitting there. And he throws the phone out of anger. Ah! He throws it. And the phone hits the wall. And then Norman, he gives the phone back to Ratha. Is everything alright, sir? And you still haven't seen Norman yet. And it's just the back of the chair. And he's like, my son is going to be a failure. He's never going to leave my house. But I'll make him. Sir, I don't mean to interrupt you, but what did you call me in here for? Yes, the reactor, the power reactor. How's it going? We have our best engineers working on it right now, sir. That's great. That's good. Can you call Otto Octavius to me, please? It's right away, sir. And then Dr. Rath is walking out. As Rath is opening the door and leaving, Norman says, can you please give me the security footage from last night? Thank you. And Dr. Rath leaves. Alright, so now we're back with Peter Parker. Peter Parker he's in his house. He's in his apartment. He's sitting on the computer. He's typing up stuff about the person that killed Uncle Ben. And he's becoming irate. He's becoming mad. And he's like, oh, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. My uncle did nothing to anyone. He tried to be the best uncle. And I couldn't even realize that. I didn't realize it Why did it take for him to die? But he didn't just die, he was murdered. The person that did this had no right. If I could have just stopped him at the store, if I could have stopped him, my uncle would be here. I'm gonna make it right, though. My uncle may be gone, but no one else is going to die. And then Peter starts typing up stuff. You know, he's typing up his uncle's. You know, he's trying to figure out stuff, and then he comes up with something about this mafia. Now, this mafia is like very, very crazy. You know, he's looking at it and he's not understanding anything. And then if he sees the name Hardy, he's like, Hardy, what? And you know, he's like, whatever. And then the suit, you know, because he still has it on, but he has on normal clothes. And then his normal clothes turn into the black suit, and he's like, oh man, it can basically change into whatever I want it to be. Oh man, is that why the spider suit came on? Is that why the Spider-Man suit? Because that's what I was thinking. I can make it go away. I can control it. Whew, yes. Then his spider sense goes off, and he looks out the window, and he looks, and he hears something. It's like something is calling him. And he looks out the window, and he goes out the window, and the suit starts coming on, and you know, the black mask forms, and you know, and he has, you know, the black eye, you know, and he jumps out the window and he swings. And then as he swings, there's a knock on his door. And it's Gwen. Peter! Doom, 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 doom. Open up! Doom, 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 doom. Peter? So then she calls him. And then as Peter's swinging, his phone's ringing, and he looks down. He pulls it out as he's swinging. He's like, it's Gwen. And he's like, you have to wait. And he puts it in, and the symbiote is able to, like, you know, like, imagine it eating it, but like, you know. So it's like this. It's like, and it goes into his suit. So then Spider-Man he's swinging, and then he stops. He just stops. He stops swinging and lands on a building, and he looks around. And his spider sense starts going like that. It starts going like that. And he pulls out his phone. He gets on his phone and he's looking up gang hideouts. He's looking up stuff. And he finds something with Silverman. And he's like, Silverman. And he's trying to figure out the latest, you know, hideouts, gang hideouts, you know, for Silverman. And he's like, And he finds this warehouse. You know, he's like, okay, this warehouse. And he GPSes it. He swings there. Now, I want you to imagine a scene. Now, imagine this. All right. So this is how it is. We see a whole bunch of guards moving something, right? Moving something, you know, it's moving stuff, you know. Oh, we see a whole bunch of, like, you know, criminal, you know, thug, tough-looking people moving stuff into this warehouse, right? Spider-Man standing out in the black suit looking down at him while it's raining. It's still raining now. It's raining. Spider-Man's looking down at him from a building, and they're like down there moving stuff, and he's looking at him. This is the place. This is where the Silverman gang is. Spider-Man's spider sense is going crazy, so he's like, that man's here. I know it. Spider-Man swings inside. We see the people moving something. We don't know what it is. They're moving something, and it's like covered by a sheet. They're moving something. You know, Spider-Man swings in from the front window, from the window like on top, right. You know, it's broken, so he's climbing, you know, he's all sneaky, and he overhears, Silverman wants it in here, okay, boom, they put that down. Spider-Man, you know, he's climbing through the vent, like on the wall and the ceiling, right, he's really quiet, really stealthy in the shadows, and then, Spider-Man looks at this room, and he's looking at the room, and he starts climbing towards it, and you see this man come out. This man has the same hair. Spider-Man, you know, he gets him, and while the guy's coming out of the room, right? So it's the doorway. Spider-Man climbs inside. He goes inside and webs him and pulls him in. He pulls him into the room, and he like basically puts his hand on his shoulder and turns him around, and it's the guy. Spider-Man it's a flashback sequence that happens, and he's like, I could have stopped you before. I could have stopped you. And then you see, then he looks at him, and he's like, ah! It's Spider-Man! And Spider-Man, he punches him in the face like that. and it just like starts bleeding very badly. It looks horrible, and the guy falls down, and Spider-Man's like, I always hold back every time I fight. I don't think I'm going to need to hold back. And then, you know, as like Spider-Man 3, remember when it was Venom would, you know, it does that, but it's not stuff tendrils are connected. No tendrils. It's just, you know, just gone. And it's just that. And he's standing over him, and the guy's on the ground. He like that, right? He's like on the ground, like, oh. And this is the doorway. This is Spider-Man. Windows behind him, right? And then, and Spider-Man webs him, pulls him close. He's like, do you know who I am? Do you know what you did? You took the man that I looked up to. You took my uncle from me. I could have stopped you, but I didn't. But now I will stop you. You're not going to harm anyone else in this city. And Spider-Man and Peter's loud. He is loud. And Spider-Man, you know, he's holding, this is the doorway, right? And he turns them around. So now they're facing the windows. They're facing the window. Spider-Man punches him once in the stomach. Boom. Not that hard. Not hard. Too hard. He's, oh. As, you know, Spider-Man's like, you don't like it, right? You don't like pain. Imagine all the pain you put me and my aunt through. You don't understand what you did. And he hits him one more time. Boom. And then you hear a whole bunch of, he's in the room. Get him. And then Spider-Man pushes him through the window, right? But he's still holding him like that. So here's the window. This is the window, right? Spider-Man's inside the building, and he's holding the guy like that, right? He's holding him. And then he steps back in, and he puts him in. He's like, and he's looking at him. And then he's looking at him right in his face. He's like, you are the reason that my aunt feels pain and cries every night. You are the reason why I didn't want to leave, but she insisted that I left. You are the reason that I have to get a job and I have to pay my aunt's bills and all of, you are the reason. And you know, as Peter is going, he's just talking, and then guards come in from behind Peter, you know, like a whole bunch of thugs, and they're holding like assault weapons, and they're aiming at him, and they're like, don't move, Spider Boy. And remember, they're looking at the back of Peter's head. His mask is gone, and Peter's spider sense goes off, and and everything slows down. Everything slows down, and Peter's like, and everything just slows down. And then, you know, the symbiote, you see the symbiote start crawling up like that. It starts like consuming. And then the background turns to white. Imagine the background turning to white, right? Turns to white. Then we just have Peter standing in a white room. It's just everything's white, like very bright white. And then we have Uncle Ben appear in front of Peter with his hand on his shoulder, saying, Peter, it's all right. And Peter's standing there looking at him, and Peter starts crying. He's not, you know, like Tobey Maguire. He's, you know, tears just coming. He's like, it's all right, son. It's all right. You don't need to avenge me, Peter. What happened, happened, and it is not your fault. Peter, you have done great things in the past year. You have saved countless lives. You have made this city a better place. Don't beat yourself up. But Uncle, I could have stopped him. I'm the reason for... Peter, you're the reason that the city is a better place to live than last year. If it wasn't for you, who knows how the city would be right now? Who knows the countless lives that would have been lost? Peter, I am proud of you. I am proud. Your mother would be proud, and your father would be proud. And about your parents, Peter, talk to Connors. Talk to Connors, and you will find out things that you want to know. I love you, Peter. You are a wonderful person. Don't take out your anger on this man. This man is confused, and he has nothing left for him, Peter. I love you. Then Peter's crying and everything. He's really crying. And then the white fades back in, and then we go back, and Peter is like right in front of the guy, and his symbiote is like just, it's, you see on his face, it's like forming back. It's forming. The people behind him, they come in, the people behind him are like, and they got their guns, and you hear everything getting ready, and Peter, he runs, jumps over the guy, goes out the window, webs the guy. Then you start hearing gunshots, and webs the back of the guy, pulls him out of the window, and swings, holding the guy by his web, swings onto a nearby building, and he pulls the guy up, and when he looks at him, he has bullet wounds all in his chest. Then Peter violently wakes up. Yeah, that's the end of part 2. Stay tuned for part 3 coming out very soon. I'm not going to do this month thing waiting anymore. That just happened because I wanted to see the reception I get from part 1. Yeah, so this was part 2. Make sure you like this video if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe if you want to stay tuned for part 3, part 4, part 5. And I don't know how many parts are going to be. And however many other things I do, because I plan on doing the whole trilogy and all this stuff. Make sure you subscribe, stay in tune for that. If you like Spider-Man movie news, if you want to know more about Spider-Man, if you want to hear my thoughts on Spider-Man or my thoughts on the gaming industry, I talk about gaming, and I talk about Spider-Man and comic book movie stuff that us, us cool kids like. Make sure you subscribe. And as always, leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the story. And comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Love you all. Peace. Later on. Peace. So he's looking up, he's calling for backup like, yo, dude, there's some crazy happening here. We got this black guy, and he's over here electrocution stuff and the electricity. He set my car on fire, man. Then he has a gun, he's like, yo, I'm gonna bust a cap in his butt. Can I have some help, though? All the other police officers are dead. I mean, the car's on fire, there's everything's going loose. Where's Spider-Man at? I mean, I'm losing my mind over here. I shouldn't have gave him a ticket. Well, getting the PlayStation 4, deal with that. Microsoft, you just made like a lot of your consumers mad. A lot. Deal with that. PlayStation 4. Kingdom Hearts 3. Deal with it. I bet Sony is smiling. Ooh, I bet Sony is smiling. I would be cracking up. I'll probably make fun of them too. Deal with that.